Thank you guys who sent in questions for the Tuesday Q&A. Yes, I know it's Wednesday, but I just couldn't get around to doing it on Tuesday. Don't worry, you'll get them on Tuesdays. And also, I'm changing it up a little bit. It's now Tuesdays and Fridays for the Q&A. I decided that I'm going to review NXT on Thursday nights and then have a Q&A for you guys on Friday instead. So Tuesday and Fridays for the Q&As. Anyways, let's get started with this one. Sportsfan77 asked, what did you think of U.S. title and tag belts not being booked on a major pay-per-view like SummerSlam? Dumb and stupid. I mean, come on. Those are your two mid-card belts that you can use on your TV. Are you telling me that you couldn't find Sheamus a bum for him to beat in like 3 minutes? And you're telling me that you can find the Usos to face someone in an 8-minute tag match? God damn. Come on, WWE. Book them on SummerSlam. It ain't that hard. I mean, I'm fine if they miss like a Battleground or a Payback, but SummerSlam, I think you should have all your titles on the line at some point. Ghost of Laquan asked, Kofi Kingston, Zack Ryder, and Heath Slater. Book them for a push, and you can't fire any of them. Kofi Kingston, I would kind of make him a more serious character, take away his air offense, and have it where he wrestles more like John Jones. If you've seen John Jones fight in the UFC, you know that guy's flashy as hell. Kind of make it where Kofi Kingston's like, hey, you know, if John Jones and RG3 can be the faces of their brand / team, how come I can't be the face of the WWE type of deal? And kind of make it more of a lot less of like a Kofi Kingston making a black issue, but trying to prove a point that like he's just as tough as anyone on the roster and he can take down anyone at any time. Zack Ryder, I'll just kind of recycle what he did in 2011. I felt that was perfect what he was doing in 2011, make him that lovable babyface that a lot of people love, and he can get heel heat for the heels, so perfect. And Heath Slater, really, it's hard to book Heath Slater for a push, man, but if you want me to, it won't be a main event title push. It won't be a mid-card title push. It would be more of a character push where I make him a trolling character and I have him come out to superstars or divas who lose matches, and he comes out there just to sing freaking songs to piss them off. So that's what I would probably do with Heath Slater, my man. Chris Stark asked, do you think WWE will push more black wrestlers when Triple H completely takes over? No, because look at NXT. Where's Xavier Woods? Where's Jason Jordan? They ain't fighting for no NXT title. Just saying, man. I don't think if Triple H takes over, all of a sudden black wrestlers will get pushed out of the ass. Paul Marcolonis asked, do you think a Ken Shamrock versus Frank Shamrock match fight should have ever happened? No, it's just stupid. The Shamrocks are just... I respect the Shamrocks in one respect of what they did for MMA, but Frank versus Ken is not a fight I think anyone cares about. I don't think it should have ever happened. It's just a way for Ken to get his name out in the spotlight. That's all I got to say about it. But I think it's stupid nonetheless. I don't think it would draw any business. In all honesty, two brothers fighting, it makes sense, but they're half brothers. People seem to forget that. And also, Frank Shamrock would have beaten Ken Shamrock in like 2 fucking minutes. People forget how good Frank Shamrock was as an MMA fighter. Stephen Bradley asked, will Brock Lesnar lose to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, or will he hold it till the next Money in the Bank? I think he's going to drop it to Roman. I think that's what they're ultimately building it up for. Because in all honesty, I can't see Seth Rollins cashing in and beating Brock Lesnar. Although that would be really cool and a good rub on Seth Rollins. I don't see that happening whatsoever. So yeah, Roman Reigns I think will beat him at WrestleMania. Johnny Russo asked, did you do the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge? Nope. No one has nominated me yet. Until I get nominated, not going to do it. Just the bottom line. I'm pretty sure I'll donate something to them, but when it comes down to doing the Ice Bucket Challenge, I just haven't been nominated. So why do it if I'm not going to get nominated? Derek asked, what did you think of the WWE No Layout 2008 pay-per-view? An okay show. Nice Elimination Chamber match was with like Triple H, right, and Jeff Hardy. They were the final two. That was a cool little final two matchup between them. So it was a nice little matchup that they had. And the rest of the pay-per-view was kind of You know, Floyd Mayweather doing that to the Big Show. Cena and Orton was trash. So it was an okay pay-per-view. Not a terrible one, but an okay one nonetheless. And who do you predict will win out of Jones and Cormier? At this moment, John Jones, but I wouldn't count Daniel Cormier out of it. I think Cormier has better wrestling than Jones, that's for sure. But I wouldn't count out Cormier. Travis Nielsen asks, who will Lesnar face until he drops the belt? Cena, Batista, maybe Bryan if he comes back, Roman Reigns. Those are the people I see him facing. And what are your top favorite matches this year so far? I'll give you 5. Cesaro versus Zayn at NXT Arrival. Natalya versus Charlotte at NXT TakeOver. The Triple Threat match main event at WrestleMania 30. Bryan versus Triple H at WrestleMania 30. And Bryan versus Wyatt at Royal Rumble this year. And I also like the Shield versus Evolution match at Extreme Rules, and the Shield versus the Wyatts at Elimination Chamber. I was drawing the blank at the Elimination Chamber name of the pay-per-view, but those are my favorite matches this year. Paul Marcos Lonas asked 5 wrestling moments that didn't have but should have had J.M. Ross commentating. Undertaker's streak ending. That definitely deserves a JR commentary. CM Punk winning the title at Money in the Bank. John Cena's first WWE title win at WrestleMania 21. Eddie Guerrero and JBL's bloodbath at Judgment Day 2004. And I would have to say the final one would have to be, sorry, I'm drawing a blank on it. Oh, Big Show and Brock Lesnar breaking the ring on that SmackDown in 2003. Those would be my 5 moments off the top of my head. James Isabel asked, when did you become a Randy Orton fan? 2003. And when do you think we will see Cena again? Monday Night Raw, because he said he's coming back then. Johnny Russo asked, have you ever seen a Dolph Ziggler interview? Why does he come off as such an asshole? I don't know, man. Ziggler, you know, he has that type of voice where you just hear him and you're like, man, I fucking hate this asshole. He's so damn smug and you just can't stand him. But in all honesty, see, I don't think Ziggler is that much of an asshole. I think he's more smug than he is asshole-less. I know why you don't like Dolph Ziggler right now, Johnny Russo, but don't worry. Miz will win the IC title back and all will be right in your world. So just relax a little bit, Johnny Russo. You know the Miz is a bigger star than Dolph Ziggler, so don't worry about it, man. Will Ferrell, number 1, asked, if Vince Russo invited you to be a guest on his podcast, what topics would you talk about? I would probably ask him a lot about TNA, Scott Steiner for sure. We would talk about Scott Steiner promos, a little bit of his ideas that he had for WCW in 2001. So yeah, that would definitely be some questions and topics we would talk about. And do you think Christian could be a color commentator? No, I don't think he has the voice for color commentating. Definitely like a pre-show guy doing the analyst stuff. I think that would fit Christian perfectly. But color commentator? Nah, I don't think so, man. Bob Orton asked, what do you think of Kevin Nash tearing his quad on Raw during a tag match in 2002? And when Bubba was trying to check on him, and X-Pac was just stomping on him. Man, that ruined the possible DX versus NWO feud, man. Come on. We could have seen finally, like, yeah, it would have been a ripoff of the NWO, and it wouldn't have been the legit NWO, but come on. NWO versus DX? Who would have not want to see that, man? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, Kevin Nash got his paycheck. He fucking wrestled that Hell in a Cell with Triple H, so it's not a bad Hell in a Cell match at the end of the day, but he got his paycheck, so it is what it is. And question number 2, what did you think of Scott Steiner versus Samoa Joe and Steiner telling him that he was nothing but a fat ass? Well, first of all, he was calling Team 3D fat asses, and he just called Samoa Joe fat. This fat son of a bitch is trying to tell all of us who have been former world champions before that, you know, he is better than us. No, you know what Samoa Joe is? He's fat. Oh, Scott Steiner. Who does not love Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner? It was okay. I didn't care for the feud because it kind of got diluted. At that time, Samoa Joe kind of got kidnapped by ninjas and all that other crap. So, yeah, man. It's something that I don't care about. It's more Steiner's promos that made that feud than, you know, the matches themselves. The matches themselves were bad. Mr. TNA 2005 asked, which match would be better? Shawn Michaels versus James Storm or Bobby Roode versus Triple H? Oh, Roode versus Triple H. No offense to James Storm. I've never compared James Storm to Shawn Michaels. Roode and Triple H, there's just so much fucking comparison, dude. It's not even funny. So, Bobby Roode versus Triple H for sure. And number 2, in my opinion, after Storm hopefully gets a World Heavyweight title run, TNA should bring back the Beer Drinking Championship as a TV IC title type to elevate future World Heavyweight Champion stars. What do you think? No, because the Beer Drinking Championship was a parody title. It was never a title to be taken seriously. And if I were a mid-carder in TNA and that's the belt that takes me to the next level, I'd be kind of embarrassed because that belt just looks like a joke in general. And I don't want people to associate me with the Beer Drinking Championship. That's just me and my personal opinion on it. Final Limits asked, what did you think of when Teddy Long had a heart attack at his wedding back in 2007 on SmackDown? I didn't really watch that back then. I really didn't care. I think he was like, what, marrying Crystal? I don't really care, dude. In all honesty, I didn't care about SmackDown back then. That's when I was kind of dying down watching SmackDown. I didn't really gain interest back in SmackDown until Triple H kind of got drafted there. And I was like saying, boy, what are they going to do with Triple H on SmackDown? And he did a good job on SmackDown. But as for Teddy Long getting a heart attack, I didn't really care all that much, dude. And how would you react if Brie Bella had a one-on-one match with HHH and he beat him the same way that Brock Lesnar beat John Cena at SummerSlam 2014? I probably would just be silent and then afterwards turn off my Xbox, grab my WWE DVD collection and put them all on eBay and not watch wrestling ever again and probably delete all my channels on my videos and close my channel in general. That would be my reaction. And I can't believe you typed that, Final Limits. Come on, man. You really wanted to type that so bad that Brie Bella should beat Triple H like Brock Lesnar did to Cena? Why would you type something like that, dude? I love you, dog, but that's just terrible, man. I hope your heart was hurting writing that, man. I'd be so pissed. Bubblegum Flavor Stories asks, what did you think of Rowan and Harper's new theme song called Gas Swamp? It's all right. It's better than their stupid one that they had like before it, where it was just a harmonica playing the whole world in his hands. It's all right, but nothing really too special. And how would you react? And do you think that the Usos should have dropped the titles to Harper and Rowan? No. No, they shouldn't have. Because you're going to make Bray Wyatt's cronies look better than him? Sorry, man. That doesn't sound cool to me. Why make Bray Wyatt's cronies look better than Bray Wyatt? If Bray Wyatt can't do shit, why make his cronies look like they can do shit? Just saying, I don't think it makes sense. Red Wolf 316 says, hey Chase, you know the storyline of Day of Reckoning 2 where the World Heavyweight Championship was missing? What if WWE actually did a storyline like that where the WWE World Heavyweight Championship was missing? Would you think it'd be a good idea or bad idea? If yes, who would you want to see unveiled as a thief? In my opinion, I would have it do a young and up-and-comer that's been screwed multiple times and has never won a world title, so that way it could give him a huge push. Yeah, I think a missing world title storyline would definitely be good. I want to do it like they did in Day of Reckoning 2, where they did it the week before WrestleMania. I would do it for like a SummerSlam, where it's like, oh, dude, where's the world title? Who stole the world title? And I think it would be interesting TV because then later on you can have people pointing fingers at everyone. You know, it's kind of like we don't have the belt. Let's make an interim belt. Well, we can't make the interim belt because the champion right now doesn't have to. We still have a champion in place because they still have a champion. Like whoever may be the champion, whether it's Cena, Batista, Bryan, Orton, or whoever, they're still considered the champion. Jesus don't have the belt. So they're trying to find out who stole the belt and all that other stuff. And really, to be honest, I think it would be an interesting storyline, and I would make Damien Sandow be the one who stole the belt. I think he fits the mold of what you're saying, someone who's been screwed over multiple times and never been a world champion. I think it would be great for a Damien Sandow character. He was playing this goofball this whole time, trying to be a parody gimmick, when all of a sudden he was actually the mastermind who stole the belt. And Redwood 316 asks, since TNA Bound for Glory is going to take place in Japan, do you think TNA is going to have to have show where it's mostly technical wrestling, since from what I've heard, Japanese wrestling fans take wrestling seriously? Yeah, they will have more technical wrestling in it, for sure. They definitely have the talent where there were some names that did well in Japan, so it's not like it's going to hurt on the talent perspective. I think the Japan fans will appreciate what they're going to do no matter what. You know, it's nice that they're coming to Bound for Glory, and you're going to have names on there that they'll be interested in. So, yeah, man, I don't think they'll have to do that much technical wrestling, but, you know, you can expect a couple technical wrestling matches from them. Josh Chambers asks, Chase, do you remember in a Raw episode back in 2004 when Maven challenged Triple H to the World Heavyweight Championship, but he couldn't beat God even with the help of Jericho, Benoit, and Randy Orton? What did you think of that match? I thought it was kind of cool because at the time, you know, Triple H was losing to underdogs. Shelton Benjamin was like the main underdog he was losing to. And, you know, that made no sense. In that Survivor Series 2004 match, just speaking of it real quick, that they chose Maven out of all fucks in the world to be part of Team Orton. Why not Shelton Benjamin? The dude was on a push anyways. He's beaten Triple H before. Wouldn't you think that would make sense to have Shelton Benjamin take on Triple H and have it where you try to get Shelton Benjamin a rub? Just saying, man. But yeah, really, to be honest here, the match was just okay. You knew Maven wasn't going to win regardless. I don't think Maven should have won. In all honesty, at that point, in my opinion, Eugene was a bigger star than Maven. I know that's sad to say, but you would rather see Eugene as world champion than Maven. But it was an okay match for what it was. And have you ever had trolls? Oh, yeah. Anytime you make YouTube videos, man, you always have at least one or two trolls. So, man, it's not a big deal. Nintendo Fanboy 1998 asks, what if Rusev debuted with Lana around 2008 when Vladimir Kovalev made his roster debut on SmackDown? They'd probably pair them up and do something with them. That's what I would think. You know, they would have Vladimir Kozlov be more of the muscle to Rusev. You know, even though Rusev is an athletic freak like Kozlov is like the security guard and bouncer type of dude, so they'll probably do something like that. And why do you like Scott Steiner so much? Is that even a question, man? Because Scott Steiner's entertaining. Unlike most fucks in wrestling, Scott Steiner can actually entertain you. That's the thing. You get entertained by a Scott Steiner promo. And the thing about Scott Steiner is he just doesn't hold back, man. He is just so damn funny. I mean, I'm sorry, dude. I loved it when Scott Steiner would hit on all the random blog interviewers that TNA would bring in. He would ask them if they want his room number and to feel his muscles, and then all of a sudden, like, he would call Samoa Joe fat. He would call the Dudley Boys fat asses. Like, I mean, the dude is just entertaining, man. That's all I can say. That's why I like Scott Steiner. If you can entertain me, whether it's like, you know, cutting promos inside the middle of the ring, it's fine, dude. That's all I gotta say. The Real Heel asks, what would your reaction be if Paul Heyman formed a heel faction of guys like Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Antonio Cesaro, Ryback, and Curtis Axel? I would kind of just be like, oh crap, there goes the careers of everyone but Brock Lesnar in that faction. That would be my reaction, because look at it. After you pair yourself with Paul Heyman, what happens to your career? It goes downhill. So in all honesty, I would not be super excited about it. It makes a good idea for a faction. I definitely think it could work out well, but I wouldn't be super excited for it. And who's your favorite tag team from TNA? The Latin American Exchange and America's Most Wanted being a close second. Those would be my favorite tag teams from TNA history. Beer Money was pretty cool too. One thing about TNA is they had some sick tag team names. Motor City Machine Guns, like, oh my god, such good names. Esquarto Compton asks, what did you think of Rusev's theme song and Lana's too? I love Rusev and Lana's theme song. I think they work perfectly. Rusev's theme song has a nice beat to it. I really do like listening to it. And Lana's theme song, it's like a video game theme song. That's like the perfect heel fucking theme song. Like, if she ever becomes like a wrestler for the WWE, I can just picture her winning the matches, and then later on that theme song plays, and she just edged it out against whoever she's facing. So yes, I definitely like their theme songs. Very good stuff. And thoughts on the Ice Bucket Challenge, and will you ever do it? My thoughts on it is I actually like what it's doing. It's actually a nice non-harmful challenge. You're just throwing ice on yourself. It's not like the stupid fire challenge that people were doing for a little bit, or like the neck challenge that, you know, where you were drinking a lot of alcohol. I actually think it's a nice, simple challenge with a good purpose and meaning behind it. And will I ever do it? Yeah. Someone just has to do them themselves and nominate me. No one has nominated me to do so, so I'm not going to do it until I get nominated, that is. Randy Busette asks, what are your feelings on the PS Vita? The PS Vita is a nice little console. I don't think it's that successful for Sony at the moment, but it's a nice little console of what you can do with it. My brother has it. I don't have it myself, but I've seen him play with it, and he seems to enjoy it. So I guess if he is still using it today, it's much more better than the PSP. And why are Mark Henry and Big Show a tag team now? Did they forget what they did to each other in 2011? Yes, they do, because in wrestling, if it's 2 years in the future, you're supposed to forget that ever happened. In all honesty, I guess they just want them to be a big, dominant tag team. My theory of why they are a tag team is kind of just to put the Ascension over, because once the Ascension wins the tag belts, they would need to face off against someone besides the Usos, and boy, what a way to make a tag team look fucking strong than have them freaking beat two fucking athletes and beasts like Mark Henry and the Big Show. So that's why I think they're a tag team, man. Justin Side asks, thoughts on white supremacists, and are you for or against them? I think they're stupid, but it's just their beliefs, and I'm against them. And do you think redneck wrestlers like Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan are secretly racist and most hillbilly redneck kicks? Honestly, I don't think Harper is really that redneck. Rowan, he could be a redneck, and Bray's from the South, so you know that dude's a redneck. Honestly, they could be racist. I'm not going to say because I don't know them personally. So in all honesty, yeah, man, I don't think there are racists, but they could be. You never know. You know, this world is crazy. Reginald D. Huff asked, what if you took a picture with Randy Orton and on Twitter he trashed you, showing a picture of the two of you saying, my fan looks like a retarded midget? How would you react, and would you still be a fan of his? I'd be honored to be trashed by Randy Orton. I think that's cool. He went out of his way just to make fun of me. That's fucking awesome. I mean, he was so affected by me he had to go out of his way to trash me, hell yeah. And I would still be a fan of his. I may not like him as a person as much, but I would still be a fan of his as a wrestler for sure. If like people can separate Chris Benoit, the murderer, and the fucking wrestler, which I don't know how you can, I think I'm allowed to separate Randy Orton from the person and the wrestler. So yeah, why not? And have you heard that Davey Richards of the Wolves broke his leg? Your thoughts? Yeah, I heard it sucks. But from what I read, that it's not that serious and he'll be back soon. So not that big of a deal, man. But yeah, if it was a serious injury where he was out for like 8 months, ooh, that would hurt his career big time, especially Eddie Edwards, man. Because the Wolves have been doing solid stuff for TNA TV, to say the least. But yeah, you know, he's going to be back soon, so it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be back in time for Bound for Glory. That would be interesting. What are they going to do for Bound for Glory? Petrol Hilton asked, what do you think of the Iron Sheik and Nikola Volkov? Underrated group, especially Nikola Volkov. I don't think they get as much love as heels in the wrestling business. Nowadays, people think great heels were like guys like CM Punk and Triple H in 2002 and 2003, and people think like gimmicks like Muhammad Hassan were edgy, and they think Rusev and Lana right now are edgy, when Nikola Volkov and Iron Sheik were way more edgy than any of those characters. Really good stuff. And thoughts on Jake the Snakes Roberts versus Undertaker match at WrestleMania 8 in 1992? All right. Not really that great of a match because they didn't really have that great of a feud or story. In all honesty, it shouldn't have been Jake the Snake versus The Undertaker. It should have been Jake the Snake versus Savage at WrestleMania 8. That's just my opinion. Just because of if you look at what Jake the Snake and Savage were going through, they were feuding for most of 91. You know, Jake the Snake interrupted the royal wedding and everything. So in all honesty, why not? Why not, man? Why not have Jake the Snake versus Randy Savage at WrestleMania 8? And then you could have had Hogan versus Flair and just who is the best type of matchup. Dave Lester asks, top 5 worst WrestleMania main events for you and why? Ooh. The top 5 worst WrestleMania main events for me and why? Cena versus The Miz, because it did not accomplish anything. The Miz never became a big star out of it, and really it was just to build up Cena versus Rock. Cena versus Rock 2, because Cena did not gain anything from being The Rock the second time, and that match was just bad. Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Whew! I love LT as a football player, but dog, that match was fucking terrible between him and fucking Bam Bam Bigelow. Hogan versus Yokozuna at WrestleMania 9. Do I even need to explain why that main event is bad? It literally was like 3 seconds long. It was a terrible fucking main event match. And if I were to choose one more, Fatal 4 at WrestleMania 16. You had no business to put Big Show and Mick Foley in that fucking match. It should have just been Triple H versus The Rock, straight up one-on-one between those guys. Why in the blue hell do we need Big Show and Mick Foley in this match? Just dumb. So those are my top 5 worst WrestleMania main events. And thoughts on Dwayne The Rock Johnson hosting WrestleMania 27. It was a good idea and concept of theory. It definitely helped the pay-per-view out because a lot of people probably thought The Rock was fucking wrestling again. I remember so many of my friends that actually came over to watch WrestleMania 27 thought The Rock was added to the WWE title match, and they were upset that The Rock wasn't facing John Cena and The Miz for the title. So many of my friends actually thought Rock was actually wrestling for the fucking title when he was just there to be a special host. I mean, it was a good idea in theory, but 27 was just ultimately just build up to WrestleMania 28, which was Cena versus Rock. Shiro Hora asked, what did you think of when Kane used to lose his mind when people said May 19th? It was okay. I just didn't get it, but then it was kind of cool that they added it back to Kane's roots, that May 19th was the day he burnt down the family house. So it was kind of cool, but it was just ultimately just to plug the fact that he had a stupid movie called See No Evil come out at that time. And what did I think about Kane versus Kane back in 2007? Kane versus Khali in 2007. Sorry, I don't know why I read Kane versus Kane. Kane versus Khali from 2007, and later on in 2009. Terrible. Feuds that should have never happened. I mean, you're telling Kane, who's not even in his fucking prime anymore, to face off against someone who can't move in fucking Khali. Yeah, not a good idea. I don't even remember that they had a feud in 2009. When you wrote that down, I'm like, they feuded again? God bless your souls if you watch that shit. Holy crap. God damn, Kane versus Khali, just garbage. Reed 19 asks, what would have happened in 2008 if Cena was never injured and Crime Time and C Nation had continued? Crime Time would still be buried. Hate to say it, man. I love Crime Time, but they would still get buried somehow. Just because Cena's around on TV doesn't mean they would do shit. Oh, poor Crime Time. Yeah! And what if Scott Steiner returned to the WWE and had a feud with Bray Wyatt by repeating calling Wyatt a fat ass? Bray Wyatt, you come out here speaking your dumb tongues, you fat ass piece of redneck shit. Get your fat ass out here. Stop talking. I'm not here to hear you talk. You're here to hear me talk, you fat ass. You had a chance, but you lost that chance, and now you got a chance, and now you fat ass is going to get your ass beat, and all this other stuff. Oh my god, it would just be fucking epic. I would love to see Bray Wyatt and Scott Steiner microphone battle. Ooh. That would be amazing. Weirdo Gino asks, why did WWE drop the Imposter Kane storyline? Because it sucked. That's why they dropped it. And which Money in the Bank match did you like a lot out of all of them the most? WrestleMania 24. I have to say that one. That was a really good World Heavyweight Championship match. Not Money in the Bank match, World Heavyweight Championship. What am I thinking? But that was a good Money in the Bank ladder match, man. That one was crazy. I remember Morrison doing the moonsault with the ladder. Shelton Benjamin fucking taking that sick flip. And fucking Matt Hardy returning to cost MVP the match. So that one's my favorite. I like that one a lot. And it had a really surprising winner in CM Punk, so I liked it. Loney Low asked, what do you think of Carlito versus Cena feud? It was a good way to build up Carlito for sure. Kind of make Carlito feel like a big deal. Here he is facing one of your rising stars in John Cena. But ultimately, at the end of the day, he didn't really benefit from it. They kind of just made him into a punk-ass bitch most of the time when facing Cena. And when Cena finally beat him, it was kind of like in a squash match, man. So it was all right. It definitely had the right meaning and booking behind it. But it's just like, they just didn't execute it correctly. John Cook asks, if WWE brought Ronda Rousey in for a short program, who would you like to see your feud with or be in a storyline with? You know, that's an interesting question. I don't think there's any women on the roster right now that you could say, like, could face Ronda Rousey. I guess maybe a Paige. A Paige would make sense. Maybe an Natalia, because she has a submission background, so it makes sense. You would definitely have to find a woman that has submissions to her arsenal. AJ Lee would be out of the picture for sure because she's too fucking small. She would get her ass kicked by Ronda Rousey in a heartbeat. So in all honesty, I would have to say maybe Paige or Natalia. If Tamina Snuka was healthy, I could see Tamina Snuka because she's one of their bigger divas for sure. But yeah, I don't think necessarily right now there is anyone on the Divas roster that looks like a threat towards Ronda Rousey. Now, if Beth Phoenix was still around and La Karma was still around, I would definitely say those two. But with the current batch right now, probably Paige or Natalia, and maybe Tamina. How would you have booked a whole Nikki heel turn, and why did you not agree with it happening at SummerSlam? I explained that in my SummerSlam review, what I would do with it, but in all honesty, this is how I would have booked it. I would have booked it where, you know, after the match, you know, Brie and Nikki celebrate, and then have it more be organic, that Brie is starting to get more popular with Nikki. I would have it in radio interviews. I would tell the radio interviewer, ask Brie more questions than Nikki. And, you know, I would have it where Brie is answering all these questions. I would make Brie get all these #1 contender shots, even though the Bellas are winning tag matches together. It would just be Brie getting the spotlight. People are talking about Brie. The fans are behind Brie. Nikki's realizing, oh, there's more Brie mode signs than there are Fearless Nikki signs and all this other stuff. And then when Brie finally gets her Divas title match, whether it's against AJ or Paige, whoever Divas champion is at the time, at the Survivor Series, that's when I would have executed the heel turn. Have it where, you know, Brie looks like she's going to win. It would definitely be a shenanigans-filled match. But then Nikki comes in and fucking costs her the match. And it's just like, why, Nikki, why? And then Nikki says, you know, we've been in this company forever. Me and her were twins. But ever since she beat Stephanie McMahon, all of a sudden, Brie's the hot topic. No one's talking about me. No one's talking about Nikki Bella. Everyone is just saying, Brie, Brie, Brie. Do you guys not remember when she left me high and dry? I was still behind her the whole time. And now, all of a sudden, just because she beat Stephanie, she's a top diva? I'm sorry. I am the top diva of the WWE. I deserve the right to be the Divas champion. That's how I would build it up. And why did I not agree with it at SummerSlam? Because it was stupid and it was rushed. That's why I didn't agree with it. It was stupid and it was rushed. The Gochi Man asked, which two wrestlers got buried the worst by John Cena and Triple H, thus killing any chances of them ever becoming a top star? Which two wrestlers got buried the worst by Triple H and John Cena? Like, Both of them? Like, that's, wait, I don't know, Gochi Man, are you asking like two separate for each person? Because they have one common person where they buried Randy Orton. Randy Orton fucking got buried by both of them, and he never became a big star out of it. I mean, Randy Orton is a star of the WWE, but he never became a big star. But just, so in common denominator, they both buried Randy Orton, and they both buried Edge. So those two have a common denominator. Cena separately of who he's buried that never became a top star, The Miz and Ryback. And for Triple H, I would have to say Booker T and RVD. But I was kind of confused what you're asking. Are you talking about like two wrestlers that they both have buried that never became top stars for the company, or them separately? So you can clarify that in the comment section, my man. But I was kind of confused. But together, both of them have both buried Edge and Orton from becoming big stars for the company. Separately, Cena, The Miz, and Ryback, and Triple H, RVD, and Booker T. So yeah, those would be the 6 guys. I was confused by that question, man. I didn't know what you were trying to ask. Have you ever met Randy Orton? Yeah, he's a cool guy. Like, I met him like a long ass time ago. Probably like 2007 was the last time I met Orton. So I haven't seen him recently, but I would like to meet him again. Mr. Juicy asks, do you think TNA should have just had Garrett Bischoff stay as a referee? Yeah, why not? I mean, it would have worked better for the storyline if he was just a referee that wrestled like one match instead of him trying to become referee turned wrestler. So yeah, why not? And Greg Toomer asks, what's your favorite Disney movie and least favorite Disney movie? Favorite Disney movie, always The Lion King. Least favorite? That's a good one. I don't really hate a lot of Disney movies, man. I always feel like they put on good stuff. And I don't want to say anything modern because the modern stuff is crap, but I want to try to make it fair because I'm naming the fucking Lion King. Let's see. Least favorite. Least fucking favorite. Dude, that's hard as fuck. I'm swearing, man. I'm struggling trying to figure out Disney movies that is like my least favorite. Because I liked a lot of them when I was a kid. Oh, God. Can you tell I'm fucking struggling with this question right now? Like, I'm trying to think so damn hard. I don't know, man. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I know this is embarrassing. I can answer all these other questions fucking easily, but yet when it comes down to finding a least favorite Disney movie, it's like fucking hard as hell for me. Because I feel like I will regret if I say what my least favorite is. Because like if I say a certain movie, I'm gonna be like, no, I don't think that's the least favorite. Which one as a kid did not really like all that much? Oh, God damn, this is hard as hell. Greg, let me finish up the Q&A and then I'll get you the least favorite Disney movie. I'm sorry, my man. Milladrix is going to finish up the Q&A and then afterwards I'll answer Greg's least favorite Disney movie question. Hey, Chase, here's my questions. What did you think of Vladimir Kozlov? Good idea on paper, just wasn't executed well. It was definitely a good idea of what they were doing with him. He just didn't execute himself as a wrestler, and they just didn't execute it well in the long run. And how would you react to Scott Steiner return and had a feud with Rusev? How do you think the promos will go? OTR Essential answered a question just like this, and I'm pretty much going to say what his answer was. I would have it where he comes out and calls Rusev a fat ass, and then he pretty much talks about Lana and hit on Lana subliminally and backstage and in real life. He would just pretty much hit on Lana every second he gets, and he talks about the great USA, and he gives Rusev a math lesson of why he is better and why Americans are better than Russians. All right. Time to finish off the Q&A with least favorite Disney movie. I know, it's embarrassing as hell, but I can't think of one Disney movie that I just didn't like out of the others, man. Oh, God damn. I don't want to say anything modern either. That's why I'm not, that's why I'm making it hard. I guess I'm making it harder on myself. If I were to say a least favorite Disney movie, probably Planes. But I don't want to say anything modern. I want to go with the time. If I'm going to say Lion King, man, I got to pick something from that time, you know, from that decade. You know what I'm saying? I can't fucking just like be a cheap out and say fucking Planes. I want to make it challenging for myself. Let's just say my least favorite Disney movie. Let's see. I'll say Pocahontas. Yeah. No. Yeah, Pocahontas is my final answer. It was between Pocahontas, Alice in Wonderland, and Robin Hood with the fox, if you guys remember that one. Those were the three I was thinking about in my head, but I was saying which one did I not like the most, and I would have to say Pocahontas, you know. Yeah, that would be my least favorite Disney movie. But thank you all who sent in questions for the Q&A. That was a good one. Greg Toomer, least favorite Disney movie, something that I couldn't even think about off the top of my head, man. But thank you all who sent in questions for the Q&A. Remember, send in your questions for the Friday Q&A. If you guys haven't already, follow me on Twitter at ChaseOver68. Check out my website, chillingwithchase.com. And I'll see you all next time when I do my Impact Wrestling Hardcore Justice review tonight. So see you all then. Peace.